So I'm sharing more today about someone named Sim, who I mentioned yesterday, because really it's all about, am I ready? You know, what is the stress that we have? And in terms of abundance or kind of just this perpetuity, which is netzach. So am I ready to be loved intimately while paranoid, dissociated, hopeless, panicked, and in lots of physical pain, emotional grief? Or am I ready to have my needs met even if I've taught that people shouldn't need what I do? Or am I ready to feel that sadness breaking me, that I was not loved from close up when I needed it as a young, powerless person without options or authority? Breathing in and out. Without judging or evaluating as per habitual perceptions, or to stop believing that harsh discipline, severe judgment, and punishment, criticism is love. Am I ready to let go of every relationship that's unhealthy for me, feels unsafe, and I can't feel love? Am I ready to stop putting myself down or depreciating myself so others in contrast seem less unappreciative, entitled toward me? Am I ready to express my needs and pain in real states, even if it's embarrassing or scary or risky? Am I ready to love people from up close and personal instead of pushing them away, where the commitment or the I can love you from afar for me feels easier than trusting, accepting, not fixing, disclosing the truth? Am I ready to feel loved in the moment as I am, not based on how I was or how I will be, or what I had or did, or what have what I have, or what I do, or what I will have or will do? And so with Sim, it was like he couldn't give me the reassurance, attention, the tenderness, and positive words of loving kindness that I needed. And there were just some synchronicities, like guitar and singing. He told me I'm pure. He seemed to have an innocent heart. He said God's good, God's loving. He wants to make a lot of money to help people. He said he was he said he had PTSD. He was in 12 steps. He was recovering. He was in school. He was into food and cartoons and Rasta culture. And he didn't really want to be beloved from afar. I didn't really want to be beloved from afar. And he didn't know how to say, and I didn't know how to say it was painful, that he didn't want to come close. And he didn't know how to say he didn't want to deal with it. He abandoned me after I had a tantrum, publicly mocked me on social media, and I turned him into the one who, if I got approval from, I'd finally feel lovable enough to be worthy of up-close love. And I would write these poems to him, and he would not be interested. And when I forgive myself for chasing an empty, unloving, kind of addict person, I think also of Adam, who was this man who cheated, and I still called it love. And even though he chose someone else and lied and discarded me and stayed away from me, and but like, apparently he was in a relationship with that woman the whole time he knew me. And Binyamin, who held my unlovability over me and my abandonment issues to push me away or trigger me every time he didn't get his way. Sim was someone I clung to and idealized to survive the way I had to with my father, who would never liked or love me. And also I'm thinking of Omar, who I mentioned in a previous video. Like, he didn't want to be close or connected, but he wanted me till I wanted to be close. And in terms of stress, it's like keeping up this image, and also the compensation for the trauma or the wound. So I sometimes feel like this octopus who has to keep one leg free to have just in case one leg gets trapped. And when I think about air pressure in a bike, the tires, they still have room enough to be able to tell, is this a want or a need? A want can still be a gorgeous want, but it's not a need. And I don't have to put myself out of the way to get there, whatever it is. That's how the stress comes in. Self-sabotage, expecting breakdown and failure as a way to feel certain, in the uncertainty. Like, oh, I'm for sure not going to make it, rather than just, I don't know if I will or I won't. Confidence in the way time helps to heal, and being compassionate, empty as nothing to give, broken as nothing to complete. Even twins have different thoughts. We can't waste precious energy on others' opinions and discomfort of truth. The smallest need is bigger than the greatest want, which is not required. But thoughtfulness is the most precious, and no good deed goes unpunished. Also think of blackmail, thousands of yams at 10 cents a pound instead of at $1 because of owing. Doesn't help anyone to become free. Recognizing what has value is often not in public, where one compensates for personal emptiness with approvable success and relevance. It's kind of like this war on drugs. No, it's a war for drugs sometimes. And when I think about Netzach, it's really the right side of the lower triangle. It's sharing. It's on the right side, so it's the lower side. It's the right leg, really. It's victory, eternity, forever. The positive pole of the lower dimension, the structure cosmically influencing and reflecting us, so within, so without. Asiya, Yetzira, Bria, and Atzilut. These are the spiritual process from the endless after the Big Bang that also correspond with the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey from the Tetragrammaton name. Asiya being the one we reside in, the world of time and change. Yetzira being the world of information, like you would say it's like computer program, code. Bria is the world of creation where things are generated, and Atzilut, the emanation, like where the ray outside the sun is first like an entity. While it's in the sun, and this is from the Alter Rebbe, the analogy, while it's in the sun, it's can be called separate. So souls originate from any of them, and the negative can go into the upper worlds up until Bria. So it depends on where the soul comes from, more or less likely to get affected by varying shells, parasites, or klipot. They're called husks. Physicality, addiction, whether it's stuff or status or people to give us happiness, versus having without being controlled by it. Each level has, like, depending on where, if the soul is from Asiya, it's going to be a lot more attached. If the soul is from Atzilut, it's going to be a lot more, self-sufficient. So each level has a ruach, spirit, nefesh, like vital soul, and it's really neshama, ruach, and nefesh. But like the middle one is ruach, or the spirit. It kind of glues the other two together. So we have nefesh, the vital soul, and the neshama, which is like the soul. Root is the limiting region of that soul's upper limit, like where it comes from. So we say the root here is above. Where is the soul rooted from when it comes into this world? The sin of Adam was 600,000 tarnished souls into the snake, not the soulmate, born broken, trying to fix everything, versus the 36 righteous souls born whole and complete. It's like this dermatome, geographic location, pieces of as representations from his physical body, whether you're from the pinky, the nose, the eye, the toe, the leg, that divides into the four worlds like pieces through a dirty machine and came out each individually, enveloped, fell into the world, and sent the body, representing soul, into the physical world to fix the shell. And we can't do the work without the flesh garment, the vehicle. And children under 12, 13 who have difficult challenges, they come from the chamber in heavens higher than righteous souls. They're like volunteers here, and we need sometimes to go even higher than where the soul came from. Otherwise, we spiritually plateau. That's the growth. And there's no negativity that exists in Atzilut. It's like still emanating. Emotion is a channel for Netzach. This is the theme, Netzach. And ego and pride can envelop all the worlds. Even if conquered up, it can be taken away with this correction. Shabbos lets us clean the soul from the negativity. All the worlds fold into no negative, also like holidays, Yom Tov. And when we say Ibor, like becoming, our soul can be pregnant with a soul. They say the highest is Moshe. You could be pregnant with Moshe. According to some, where it's a pregnancy of an implanted spirit, we borrow this higher energy for assistance and evaluation up to like 10 at a time, bringing power, strength, knowledge to further the elevation, either temporarily or for a bigger tikkun. And when we require the required desire and crave it to evolve for it without reaction into me, we have to like beg for it. And then they all leave when we're depressed or angry. In Israel, just being there brings Ibor, to be impregnated by the spirit that wants to be in Israel. They want to be with us when we're simply happy, and they're attracted to us on Shabbos. Friday night, the female, and Shabbos day, the male. The Baal Shem Tov is joy and healing and innocence. Abraham, these are some examples of infinite parts that could be revealed by any willing channel. The Lubavitcher Rebbe is spreading light in the darkness. Eliyahu Navi is trusting the true vision even with no one. Hillel is never getting angry for any reason. Moshe is a conduit completely surrendered in body and soul for the good. The Ari is unchaining from body consciousness. Rabbi Akiva is sacrificing the self and treating everyone as royalty. Abraham is unconditional love and kindness. And I think I just said the Baal Shem Tov is joy and healing and innocence. Souls connect to me also through what I eat, and souls connect through candlelighting, studying, eating meat and fish, and sleeping during the day on Shabbos, and holding on to what we want prevents us from truly serving God just because it seems good or bad, like the want versus the need, right? So when we judge with light instead of dark, it opens God's mercy and brings angels of protection and defense. The endless goes into the vessel, which is Torah, and it's like a test. We see that which can be judged and choosing to see it favorably. Nothing is ever as it seems. That's how we give true benefit of the doubt. God does it on purpose, not people. We can choose to see everything as good, and we never receive chaos till we judge. And we get judged by the angels when we judge, because when we fight for the good of others, for them to see their good, we fight to see the good. It's like, versus when we harshly judge, we're like a magnet for harsh judgment and seeing conspiracies and suspecting, pretty much like through judging, we drain and flatten ourselves and remove our hope. It's a very hard tikkun to overcome. We could call this suspecting as like paranoidly. This actually damages the physical body versus when we live in a mystery, humbly knowing just our own place, that we don't know anything, that we're a child of God, a vessel for light. It lets us not think we know anything so much that we even make believe we know, that what we know isn't right, wrong, and good and bad for others, because everyone deserves our love and our positive perspective, even if they themselves are judging us and don't believe they're worthy of love or the positivity we're showcasing, because that isn't really up for us to decide. We can simply see what God reveals to us and commit to be open to receive that godly vision. I'm going to record another video now for Shabbos. But I wanted to end with another teacher. That was David Ghiyam. I want to also end with another teacher, Eitan Yardeni, on abundance. When we connect with the 1%, whether it's time or love or anything else, or physical manifestation, instead of the 99% of energy, which has a spiritual cause, that's what drains our energy, doesn't cause circuitry. It causes volatile issues, no blessings, chaos surrounding, anxiety about the future and not feeling stable. I don't have, stinginess, excessive disappointment of loss, feeling stuck in regret, value of self is externalized, pride and guilt, craving respect and honor. When we tithe, we give away 10% without agenda or personal gain, to 10 to 20%, whether it's food or stuff. Even if somebody smokes weed, they say you could give your weed, you could tithe it. It can apply everywhere. The money, the stuff, the work, the time, the love, we receive for the sake of the self alone versus when we receive to share. It's our test of, is there not enough of whatever it is? To be generous, to flow, to be in ease. Being in circuitry can allow for any stagnancy to be refreshed and revitalized, not for approval or obligation or to keep a promise, rather a free choice to bring positive energy into the world. Personal to me, channeling circuitry with my intentions, with true certainty I can have the universe according to my decree. Meaning not to worry that tomorrow there won't be enough. That's how we go from Yesod to Malchut, the charity, and this is a natural continuity aspect. It's really the feminine. So I'm going to record another video right after this for Shabbos, for Friday, because it's going to be Shabbos early tomorrow, and I don't want to risk not being on time, and I still want to record that video for anyone who may need it. All right, bye-bye.